so I'm gonna be living in a box? How are we going to do this? I feel like I gotta walk y'all through this one, okay? Because I can't believe I'm telling y'all that I matched, okay, in dermatology. Hi, God, okay. Hi. Long time no see. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for being gone for so long. I missed y'all. Did y'all miss me? Because I missed y'all. I have so much to update you guys on. So for those of you guys who may not know, I am currently a 4th year medical student, and I recently matched in dermatology. Essentially, matching is a process of which medical students go through to get a job. Okay, and that job is titled residency, and will go through an allotted amount of years to complete their residency and then eventually become board certified in whichever area of medicine they are choosing to practice. Now, I'm gonna probably have to make this video into 2 parts for the sake of just giving God the glory for like, I feel like I gotta walk y'all through this one, okay? Because I can't believe I'm telling y'all that I matched, okay, in dermatology. Hi, God, okay. So let's take it back from the beginning. I decided I wanted to pursue dermatology, or at least I was interested in it, around the first year of medical school. My school didn't have a dermatology program, so it made it kind of difficult to get the exposure that I wanted. I utilized my summer research opportunity to essentially gain exposure in so many other fields that my school didn't have. And I just remember, you know, going into the office, seeing the dermatologic surgeon, because that's who I shadowed. I was so amazed at how versatile her workday was. Now, one thing that kind of alarmed me though was that while I was in her office, I didn't really see many Black people. You know, I was just like, where do Black people not go to the dermatologist? Like, where do Black people at? And so I found that to be kind of disheartening, because as many of you guys may know, Black and brown communities are and continue to be underserved when it comes to access to healthcare. So I really wanted to make sure that the field that I was going into would be able to, you know, bridge the gap. Now, fast forward, my brother was diagnosed with discoid lupus. This happened around, I want to say, between my 2nd and 3rd year of medical school. Mind you, from year 1 all the way up until this point, we had been going from doctor to doctor trying to figure out what was going on with him, because he developed these, you know, these scars, or these lesions rather, on his scalp and along the side of his face, and they were just getting worse. And so we thought anything from like ringworm to mosquito bite that just went rogue. Like, we weren't sure what was going on. It took us so long to get that answer. And it took a dermatologist that was skilled and well-versed in skin of color to identify this particular dermatologic condition. It would, like, the light bulb just went off, because I was like, this is it. This is what I'm meant to do with my life. Because it's not that Black people don't go to the dermatologist. Maybe Black people don't have access to the dermatologist, or people of color, you know, aren't being referred to these specialists because providers may feel like, oh, you may not be able to afford it, or maybe this condition is something I can handle on my own. But Black and brown people deserve access to quality healthcare as well. Shortly after,
I went and I took step 1.
For those of you guys who don't know, step 1 is one of 3 board exams rather that medical students have to take in order to receive their medical degree. Dermatology is a very competitive field. Like, the average applicant has to take a year off of medical school just to garner enough research to look productive during, you know, the interview season. I feel like it goes without saying that your board scores need to reflect an applicant that is competitive. So I went into step one thinking, oh yes, 250 plus, I'm coming for you, okay? You're mine, I got you. It was not fun. It was not fun. I felt like it was MCAT studying, but like to a different degree. At least with MCAT studying, it's stuff that you've accumulated over your 4 years of college and science courses. With step one, it's literally every nitty-gritty detail that you could have read in a book, or you could have learned about in a disease process, or you could have learned about in, you know, some type of organ system that you have to know. I did my best, I studied, and I will never forget that day. So I had started my third year clerkships, and my floor mates were like, oh, I'm gonna look. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna look too. Bad mistake. I shouldn't have looked with them. Or at least I shouldn't have looked while I was at work. I opened my score, and y'all, it was not a 250. I can laugh about it now, but my heart went into my toes. My heart sank. Do you ever feel like you have all these like ambitions and dreams for yourself, and then it just like it gets blown up in this like balloon, and it felt like somebody just took a pin and went. That's how I felt when I got my score and I went home after work. Whew, I threw my keys down on the floor. The key fob broke, shattered across the floor. I got my vision board paper and I just ripped it to shreds. Oh, I was so angry because I felt like, God, how am I supposed to be a dermatologist now? Like, what else am I supposed to do? I just felt so defeated. I was literally sobbing. Sobbing to the point where my Nigerian mother, who was all the way in Texas, mind you, I'm in Nashville, and she's like, do you want me to fly there? Like, do you need me to come there? Because she'd never heard me weep like this. Like, I was weeping like my dream died. I will never forget what she said to me. She said, Zani, you're weeping like the unbelievers. Like, why are you crying like those who don't know God? That really, it pierced something in the wall of my sorrow. It was like, you're right. I serve God, the almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful God. Well, God, you're literally using me as a canvas to showcase your glory. Like, you didn't need the high step score. You didn't need it. When you try to reason with your failures, you're just like, yeah, maybe I'm supposed to do this. So I went to the chair of the department at the time. She, you know, did this thing where she met with all the students to discuss their career paths. And I told her, you know, oh, I want to do derm.
Oh, well, I just want you to know that that's not competitive enough for derm. It's not. So, are you considering other career paths?
Now, this conversation was just one of many, many people who would have told me on this journey that I didn't have what it took. But thankfully, in the back of my mind, I had already come to grips that I may not have what it takes. But my God has what it takes. After that conversation, I went through my third year clerkships, you know, really staying open-minded, trying to get a feel for every specialty. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like any of them. I mean, they were cool. It didn't give me that spark. I thought anesthesia was so cool. But then after the first week, I was like, oh, this is boring. I was like, oh no, you just sitting waiting for somebody to ask you to reverse Trenlendenberg? No, thanks. No, it wasn't for me. Shout out to my anesthesia people out there though. Another specialty that almost caught my eye was obstetrics and gynecology. And I felt like, when people tell you what you're gonna do and then you subconsciously try to live up to that expectation. So I don't know what it is, but I feel like when people see strong Black women or Black women that are confident or Black women that are well-spoken in medicine, they just automatically assume that you're interested in OBGYN. Now, I will say that the field is blessed with such people, but I feel like other specialties also have strong Black women. I went into specialty very, very open-minded because I was like, ooh, this is what people tell me I look like. This is what people tell me I act like. Ooh, I'm gonna do this. I got there and it didn't click. It did not click for me. I did not like it. And one piece of advice that I got from an OBGYN that I was seeking mentorship from, she said the way you pick your specialty is you listen in on grand rounds and you listen to the bread and butter cases that they have. Mind you, for neurology, it could be stroke or paralysis. For, OBGYN, it could be twin transfusions. For psych, it could be, addiction medicine. So whatever the bread and butter cases are for that specialty, if you can listen to that and get excited about the subject matter and get excited about what they're talking about, baby, that's a specialty for you, okay? And when they would talk about atopic dermatitis and eczema and different type of treatments that they're trying, and I was excited. And I would look at my classmates and they'd be like, oh my gosh, this is so boring, I hate this. And I'd be like, what? This is great. My next rotation was surgery. Oh Lord, I have to go through all the obstacles that I thought were gonna take me out. Because as I was going through the obstacles, I told myself and I told God, I'm gonna testify. If I can get through this, if you can make this work, I'm gonna testify. Surgery, we had this director. He was so stubborn. He was a typical Nigerian uncle. Yoruba, hard-headed, strong-willed, very intelligent, very arrogant. He could teach. I loved listening to his lectures. Not so great to work with in clinic. Just not. He was like belittling and made people cry, and it was bad. It took prayer, okay? It took prayer. Because I said, God, this man is trying to ruin my career. He studied so hard for that class. I did. For this man to then come and say, you're gonna get a C. Lie. This was January 13th, 2020. This professor is trying to give me a C in surgery. I've never been so shook and appalled at the same time. Med school 2, Zanny 0. That's really how I felt. But then at the end I wrote, but even with my 0, no credential having self, God can still make me a dermatologist. I wrote that. Now when I say 0 credential having self, at this point I'm thinking I have a low step 1 score. This man is trying to give me a C. I don't have any dermatology related research. I don't have a home program. I don't even have a mentor. How am I going to do this? I'm sure you guys know shortly after that, I went on lockdown. So, to further matters, I'm thinking, oh, I could do 1-year research at an institution that's close to home. get a mentor, gain experience, gain research opportunities. I can, go and present at conferences, go meet people, do the whole gambit. Nobody was accepting anybody during that time, okay? All the research positions had either been filled or were not accepting students. So at that time, I'm just like, God, what am I gonna do? I remember joking with my friend Victory, who would, drive by from time to time. Be shouting outside her car, and I'd be, in my driveway, and I'd be like, I'm nothing! I'm nothing! Because that's how I felt. I felt like I had nothing to work with. In that moment, everything that was going on, all the deaths, all of the, the pandemonium that was breaking loose was so disheartening. The silver lining for me was that I was able to spend quality time with my family at home. And on top of that, I was also able to spend quality time with God. Even though it looks like this situation is about to fail, God's got me. Like, God ordained this thing. God is not a man that he can lie. God is faithful. He's the only being who can swear by himself, because he can bet on himself. He can literally swear by himself because he cannot fail. And one prayer that I prayed in particular that I felt changed the game, was I prayed for God. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna have to cut this video into 2 parts.
It might have to be 2 parts because this video is long.
But stay tuned for part 2, because it's coming. All right? And you do not want to miss it. You don't. Okay? Like, share, comment. Tell me what you think about this journey so far, because it's getting crazy. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. All right? Bye.